Is Wack 100 a federal informant?
Oh, I have no idea.
I have no idea. Now, it's certainly, it wouldn't shock me to find that out. But, well, here's the thing. When you say federal informant, like, this has been a long period of time. So, I mean, a federal informant, like, in what case? You'd have to give more of a precise scenario of, like, what case, what trouble did he get into? Like, I
Have
think it's more likely he latched on to loose cannon and all them, knowing he could use them to help get rid of Big U just for his own uses. I don't think it's necessarily because he's doing it for the government. No.
right,
This idea that everyone's a snitch. I don't know why everyone's all obsessed with everyone's a snitch, so and so snitching. Like, you know, I think that he wanted to get rid of Big U, and he definitely help facilitate loose cannon and all them. But remember though, Big U's main problem is he talked on wiretaps and the murder thing. And the murder doesn't have nothing to do with any of the rest of them. That's what got the investigation started. And they tapped his phone because of the murder, and he was talking on the phone. So all that stuff with loose cannon and all them is definitely evidence and it's not helpful, but he had the same type of case. All they might have done is add a charge or two, but he's his own worst enemy. So it's
right.
not
What
Wack 100's fault, loose cannon's fault, or none of them. That murder got them looking at him, and they put that tap on his phone, and he said, judging by what's written up in that report, he was talking pretty reckless on the phone.
What do you think about just the whole Cali gang bang podcast culture in and of itself? Because that seems like that got him caught up a little bit.
Oh, well, the world has become just bizarre in general. So I think everything is bizarre. That is bizarre, but so's everything else. I mean, they're doing it in Chicago. Here's what I always tell people. If you have a set of people that were, say, selling drugs or robbing people or whatever to make money, if I was willing to sell crack or rob somebody, why the hell wouldn't I gossip on a podcast to make some money? It's still less risky than all those other things, right?
Right. Federal investigators and state investigators, they're using lyrics and they're using record labels and social media and they're creating
Listen,
cases.
law enforcement has always had the right. This idea that all this stuff is new because of technology, everything is all the same. Like, a record or a podcast is just sort of a different version of a book or a note, right? So
Right.
40 years ago, if you popped up dead and you had a note in your pocket that said Al Prophet is out to get me, of course they're going to use it against me. So I think they have the right to at least attempt to enter into evidence anything plausible, and then it's up to the judge and the jury whether to admit it or to find it believable. I did a documentary years ago about a guy from Detroit who actually knows somewhat T. Stuckey. They used his lyrics against him, and that was in '02.
So they've been doing this.
Oh, sure. Because why it's whatever you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. So if your wife pops up dead and in her diary it says stuff about you beating her and she thinks you're trying to kill her, well, of course they try to put that. So if you pop up dead and have a song about intimating I want to kill you, why wouldn't they try to use that? It's really no different, really, right?
Right. Do you think it has to do with I guess the Italian mafia seemingly going underground, not being a lot of cases to prosecute? Maybe they're
Oh no,
bored.
there's mafia cases. No, no, no. I think if what you're asking me is the RICO kind of irresponsibly being used? Yeah, but they're making plenty of RICO. The mafia? No, no, there's mafia cases being made all the time. There's a crazy one going on in New England or where? No, in Buffalo, where like the FBI agent killed himself because he was corrupt. Like, no, there's plenty of mafia activity. I do agree. RICOs are used in inappropriate amount of time. But to be honest with you, in a lot of these rap cases, I think they do qualify for RICOs. Where the RICOs are bad is when you have, some little gang member somewhere and they sell heroin for 6 months and you come through and RICO them and you give them all this time and all they did was have one, you had a crack house for 6 months and now we're doing 27 years. That's pretty messed up. But like if you believe what went on and the allegations against Big U and Diddy and all those people, I mean, it is RICO-ish if you believe it.
Right.
Because they have organizations. Big U had a nonprofit. Diddy had a big company. RICO was made really to go after unions more so. That was the first when they passed in 1970. It was to go after the Teamsters. It was to go after people with legal companies or entities that were powerful and were using that as a cover to enrich themselves and corrupt stuff. They did, then they used it on the mob. Like that wasn't even the first thing they used it on.